A loaded minivan pulled into a campsite. 4 children leapt out and feverishly unloaded gear. The boys gathered firewood while the girls set up the stove and tent. The kids worked feverishly. A neighboring camper marveled at the youngster's father. "That's an impressive display of teamwork. How do you manage them?" The father replied, "Easy. We have a system. No one gets their iPhone back until camp is set up. A man is praying in church. He looks up to heaven and says, 'God, could you answer a question for me?' 'Of course, my son,' says God. 'What would you like to know?' 'God, what is 1,000,000 years to you?' 'Well,' says God, '1,000,000 years to me is as a second.' 'Says the man, 'I guess I understand.' 'So what is $1,000,000 to you then?' 'My son,' God says, '$1,000,000 to me is as a penny.' 'Says the man. He goes back to praying. After a little while, the man looks up again. 'God,' he asks, 'can I have a penny?' 'Sure,' God says. 'Just a second.' A man and his wife walked into a dentist's office. The man said to the dentist, 'Doc, I'm in a hurry. I have 2 buddies sitting out in my car waiting for us to go play golf. We have a 10 o'clock tee time at the best golf course in town, and it's 9:30 already. I don't have time to wait for the anesthetic to work.' So forget about the anesthetic. Just pull the tooth and be done with it." The dentist thought to himself, "My goodness, this is surely a very brave man, asking to have his tooth pulled without using anything to kill the pain." So the dentist asked him, "Which tooth is it, sir?" The man turned to his wife and said, "Open your mouth, honey, and show him." An old man, Jesus, and Moses were all playing golf. Moses steps up to the tee, takes his swing, and kerplunk! The ball landed right in the water drift. The 2 men groan when suddenly Moses raises his hands high in the air, the water parts, and he walks through the separation, takes his swing, and makes the hole on the second shot. The other 2 men applaud as Jesus steps up to the tee. Taking his swing, the ball plunks into the water ahead. Moses is in the old man's groaning halt, though, when Jesus walks on top of the water to just above the ball. Taking his swing below the water surface, he hits the hole on the second swing. The old man steps up to the tee and takes his swing, but just as the ball is about to land in the water, a large fish jumps up and swallows the ball. Then, just before the fish is about to dive back into the water, a mighty eagle swoops down and grabs the fish, soaring off into the sky. Suddenly, a lightning bolt flashes through the sky, almost hitting the eagle. The eagle drops the fish. The fish lands about 4 feet away from the hole. As the fish hits the green, the ball pops out of its mouth and rolls into the hole, making it a hole in one. Just then, Jesus spins around, hands on his hips, and yells, "If you're going to show off, we won't play golf with you again, Dad." A man walks out to the street and catches a taxi just going by. He gets into the taxi and the cabbie says, "Wow, perfect timing. You're just like Dave." The passenger asks, "Huh, who?" The cabbie explains, "Dave Smith. He's a guy who did everything right all the time. Like when I came along just when you needed a cab, things happen like that to Dave Smith every single time." The passenger remarked, "There are always a few dark clouds over everybody." "Not Dave Smith," the cabbie replied. "He was a terrific athlete. He could have won the Grand Slam at tennis. He could golf with the pros. He sang like an opera baritone and danced like a Broadway star. And you should have heard him play the piano. He was an amazing guy." The passenger said, "Sounds like he was really something special." The cabbie replied, "There's more. He had a memory like a computer. He remembered everybody's birthday. He knew all about wine, which foods to order, and which fork to eat them with. He could fix anything, not like me. I change a fuse and the whole street blacks out. But Dave Smith could do everything right." The passenger was amazed. "Wow, what a guy." The cabbie continued, "He always knew the quickest way to go in traffic and avoid traffic jams. Not like me, I always seem to get stuck in them. But Dave, he never made a mistake. And he really knew how to treat a woman and make her feel good. He would never answer her back, even if she was in the wrong. And his clothing was always immaculate, shoes highly polished, too. He was the perfect man. He never made a mistake. No one could ever measure up to Dave Smith." The passenger asked, "So, how did you meet him?" To which the cabbie answered, "Oh, I never actually met Dave. He died and I married his wife." A man asked his wife what she'd like for her 50th birthday. "I'd love to be 7 again," she replied. On the morning of her birthday, he got her up bright and early, and off they went to a local theme park. What a day! He put her on every ride in the park. The death slide, the screaming loop, the wall of fear. Everything there was. Wow! 5 hours later, she staggered out of the theme park, her head reeling and her stomach upside down. Right to a McDonald's they went, where her husband ordered her a Happy Meal along with extra fries and a refreshing chocolate shake. Then it was off to a movie, the latest Disney movie. What a fabulous adventure! Finally, she wobbled home with her husband and collapsed into bed. He leaned over and lovingly asked, "Well, dear, what was it like being 7 again?" Wearily, she raised her head and said, "I meant my dress size." On their way to get married, a young Catholic couple was involved in a fatal car accident. The couple found themselves sitting outside the pearly gates, waiting for St. Peter to process them into heaven. While waiting, they began to wonder, could they possibly get married in heaven? When St. Peter arrived, they asked him if they could get married in heaven. St. Peter said, "I don't know. This is the first time anyone has asked. Let me go find out." And he left. The couple sat and waited for an answer for a couple of months. While they waited, they discussed the pros and cons. If they were allowed to get married in heaven, should they get married? What with the eternal aspect of it all? What if it doesn't work? Are we stuck in heaven together forever? Yet another month passed before St. Peter finally returned, looking somewhat bedraggled. "Yes," he informed the couple, "you can get married in heaven." "Great," said the couple. "But we were just wondering, what if things don't work out? Could we also get a divorce in heaven?" St. Peter, red-faced with anger, slammed his clipboard on the ground. "What's wrong?" asked the frightened couple. "Oh, come on," St. Peter shouted. "It took me 3 months to find a priest up here. Do you have any idea how long it'll take to find a lawyer?